The afternoon sun poured softly into a Roman cafe, where Terence Hill sat with the ease of a man who has lived many lives on screen, but carries them lightly in conversation. His blue eyes, still striking after decades, sparkled as soon as the name Sergio Leone was mentioned. "Ah, Sergio," Hill said with a slow smile, leaning back in his chair as if letting the memories wash over him. There was nobody like him. Working with him was like being invited into a world where cinema wasn't just made, it was sculpted. Hill's relationship with Leone was not that of constant collaborators. Leone was famously selective, but their paths crossed in ways that defined an era. "I remember the first time I saw him on set," Hill began, his hands moving as though sketching the memory in the air. He was standing behind the camera, completely still, but you could feel the electricity around him. He had this aura, this ability to make everyone aware that something legendary was about to happen. He didn't shout, he didn't rush, he just looked, and with a glance he told you more than pages of dialogue ever could. One of Hill's fondest recollections was from the set of My Name is Nobody, 1973, the film that Leone produced and helped shape, even though Tonino Valeri directed. "Sergio had this way of making you believe in the myth of the West," Hill said, his voice lowering with reverence. "He once told me, the West is not history, it's memory. It's the dream people carry about freedom, justice, and destiny." And that's how he filmed it. Every frame was larger than life, but it was also deeply human. Hill laughed when recalling Leone's meticulousness. He could spend hours on a single shot of eyes. I mean, just the eyes. He believed they told the whole story. And you know what? He was right. When you see those close-ups, you realize he wasn't just showing a face, he was showing the soul of a character. He'd come over, tilt my chin a little and say, "No, no, Terence, this way. The sun must kiss the eyes." And suddenly, the shot was transformed. There were lighter moments too, full of warmth and camaraderie. Hill remembered evenings after shooting when the crew would gather around long tables, eating pasta and talking about everything from politics to poetry. "Sergio was always the loudest laugh," Hill said. "He had this booming laugh that filled the room. People think of him as this serious maestro of cinema, but he loved life. He loved jokes, good food, and long conversations. He was larger than life on and off set." Yet what struck Hill most about Leone was his ability to inspire. He had this vision of cinema that made you want to give everything, Hill reflected. "He once told me, 'We don't just tell stories, Terence. We give people dreams to carry with them.' That stayed with me. Even now, whenever I step onto a set, I hear his voice reminding me that cinema matters." As the cafe grew noisier with the bustle of the Roman evening, Hill's voice softened. "You know, it's been many years since Sergio left us, but he is still here," he said, touching his chest lightly. "Every time I see one of his films, I remember his eyes, his silence, his laugh. For me, the most memorable thing about Sergio was not only his genius as a director, but his humanity. He taught me that a true master doesn't just make films, he makes people believe." For Terence Hill, those days with Sergio Leone were not just a chapter in his career, but a lasting memory etched into his life. "I am proud," he said finally, his gaze distant but full of warmth, "that for a brief moment I walked in his world." And what a world it was.